afternoon, cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean, and this is going to be our spoiler review, reaction, discussion of the second episode of The Bad Batch called Cut and Run. So you've been warned, spoilers going ahead. Okay, this is a very interesting episode. 30 minutes. We got the 70-minute start off one on Tuesday, which was Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you, by the way. And I felt there's been a lot of discussion online about Dave Filoni specifically just kind of mirroring what we're already doing in The Mandalorian. Rough and tumble guy takes on charge of a young child, and that kind of dynamic is something that is mirrored a lot within Star Wars storytelling, specifically when it comes with Dave Filoni. With this particular episode, though, it veered away from what we got with The Mandalorian, where the child, Grogu, is just a passenger and occasionally helps out with whatever happens to be going on. Omega, who is, kind of tagging along with her clone counterparts, was part of the action. Like, she actually helped get Cut and his Twi'lek wife, I cannot remember her name, and her children off the planet. The idea that Omega herself it is obviously a clone. She also obviously has similar abilities as the rest of the Bad Batch. I'm wondering if she has some force sensitivity or whatever. But the idea that she is part of this group, even if Hunter wasn't ready for her to be part of this group, is kind of an interesting story arc. He tried to pass her off onto Cut, and while they were leaving the planet, and she reinforced the idea that she is her own person and she gets to make her own choices. And when she made the choice to come back and help, it was kind of interesting. It was heartwarming for me because I like somebody who's willing to walk their own path, like we got with Rey. And so I was really happy that all that happened. The Bad Batch going and seeing Cut, they needed to learn how to live off the grid and how to be in hiding and all of that. And so obviously with Cut, we haven't seen him since season 2 of the Clone Wars when Rex was there. And I found it interesting too that that Cut mentioned Rex. Like, Rex was just there in front of him. He also understands what's going on with Order 66. You have what happened in the final season of the Clone Wars, the final 4 episodes with Ahsoka and Rex and Order 66 and all that stuff. So all of that kind of is overlapping with itself. And so it was cool to have Cut in this episode. A nice reminder that, hey, there's other clones out there who weren't affected by the chip, weren't part of Order 66, are free thinking of them for themselves. And so that was kind of a nice little touch. And I figured that we will get more of these kind of references from Clone Wars, possibly Rebels, though the timeline isn't quite the same. Rebels is, obviously later, but you could have Hondo, you could have, Obi-Wan, you could, there's characters out there that could show up in this Bad Batch, but I think that they'll stay away from the major characters. It's going to be somebody like we got Saw in the first episode. We're obviously going to get Rex going forward. So those kind of characters we'll probably end up seeing at some point in time. Them helping the Bad Batch, helping Cut and his family get off the planet by essentially forging passports. The code, I forgot what they call them now. Tracker code, trace code. I can't remember. Please be nice in the comments. It's been a long day. I like the introduction of them, and now you have another connective tissue to the Mandalorian. And chain code, I got it. Chain code. The Empire pretty much identifying everybody with a number and not an individual is a continuing story throughout Star Wars when it comes to the Empire, and even more with the First Order. The idea of identity being removed from yourself, that's what the clones are going through right now. Their individuality as clones has been taken away from them, and now they're just mindless drones. And we get that with one of the clones stopping Cut as he got onto the transport and saying how his face kind of looked familiar. Of course, he looks familiar. He's a clone, but the drone clones, as they are now, just kind of let it pass by. As soon as they got new orders to do something else, they let it go and move on. And if they wasn't such of a drone, they would have stopped and questioned it a little bit longer and that kind of thing. But the idea of the chain codes being introduced and how quick everything is happening after Order 66, after Palpatine takes over, is just the efficiency of dictatorship. In World War II, I mean, Jews were tattooed as soon as they walked in the line. They were just given a number, and you go on and go on and go on. And so it's that kind of same thought process of you are no longer a person, you are a number. And that part of the storytelling of the Empire I'm going to find very interesting as we go forward, as you have the individuals of the Bad Batch trying to tell their own story of individuality, yeah, and but the Empire trying to take that away from everybody. Tech and Echo working together, even though they kind of have similar skills and stuff like that, they were able to accentuate each other, which I thought was really cool too. I really liked this episode, even though it was a kind of a slower pace, and Wrecker got to do his thing. Even though it was a slower episode, and you had to spend some time with a little bit more of the character development, specifically for Omega, I really appreciated this episode. I really see Omega as being somebody of importance moving forward. Whatever that means is whatever it means. But I would like it if she's force sensitive. I find it interesting where they're going to go with the Bad Batch, because they don't exist, past. They're not in the original trilogy. They're not in Rebels. So they're obviously going to be something somewhere, or something bad's going to happen to them. And Omega herself is going to be someone that is going to have to be explained down the line, whatever. I will worry about that when we get to that point in the storytelling. But what we're getting right now, I really like what I'm seeing. And the animation's cool, the cinematography's cool, and I love the idea of Omega, first learning what dirt is and getting to play with other children and actually standing in the sun. And it mirrors a lot of what Rey went through, seeing, I didn't know there was this much green in the entire universe when they went to Maz Kanata's castle, or her playing in the rain when she went to go see Luke. Those kind of parallels I really, really like. So that's my thoughts on episode 2 of Bad Batch, called Cut and Run. Let us know what you thought of this episode and our reaction, review, discussion of it in the comments down below. Like I said, please be nice. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, follow us on all the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links in the description down below. And TikTok, you whippersnappers. And until next time, cult members, I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me.